Navigating digital disruption can be challenging for established companies. I want to help you understand the life cycle of disruption and the actions you can take at each stage to survive and even thrive in the digital age. Here's a typical company growth curve. As the business matures, the early willingness to experiment gives way to standardization. It focuses on doing more of what works and generating consistent cash flow to support growth. But as we'll see, the strengths that help a company become an incumbent tend to become weaknesses when disruption hits. Disruption introduces a new business model that's at odds with your current one. At this early stage of disruption, you're struggling to figure out what's real and what's hype. There's barely any effect on your core business. You're still making money, so you don't feel the need to act. At this stage, incumbents aren't looking for, and sometimes don't want to see, the dangers on the horizon. The biggest challenge here is myopia. It takes rare foresight and a lot of courage to make a preemptive move and change your business model at this stage, and that move will often face resistance from your stakeholders. Still, it's vital here to challenge your own story about how your industry makes money. It takes acuity, a particular sharpness of vision to do this. By now, the trend is clear. Successful newcomers have validated the new business model. Action at this point is critical. You need to nurture new ventures in the emerging business model. And these initiatives need autonomy from your core business, even if they cannibalize it. The idea is to act before you have to. The problem, though, is that it still doesn't feel like you need to do anything. Your earnings are still growing. The vague threat just doesn't seem as dangerous as immediate hardship. After all, when Netflix disrupted itself in 2011 by shifting from DVDs to streaming, its share price dropped by over 80%. Few boards are willing to endure that kind of pain. But by this stage, the industry is moving rapidly to the new model, which has proven superior to the old. You'll start feeling the squeeze in your results. It's time to hit the gas. You need to accelerate your transformation by aggressively shifting resources to the new ventures. Think of it as treating these new businesses like venture capital investments that only pay off if they scale rapidly, while the old ones are subject to a private equity style workout. Now that is an incredibly tough shift for incumbents to make, especially when the forces of disruption are reducing the overall cash flow available. Performance will suffer, and the natural inclination is to cut back on peripheral activities and focus on your core legacy business. The problem is, you may no longer have a core legacy business. The disruptive model has become the new normal. Whether you like it or not, your industry has fundamentally changed. If you haven't taken action, your cost base is likely out of whack with your industry's new business model. Your earnings are diving, and you're poorly positioned to become a market leader. The only thing to do is adapt or exit the business, with the hard reality being that the glory days of your industry may be behind you. Now, that sounds gloomy, but the overall message here is positive. Companies that show foresight and a willingness to make bold moves before it's too late can emerge as winners. After all, no one ever won a race by standing still.